Good night, everyone, and thank you for coming on to my channel. Subscribe, share, and like. My channel is very unusual because my channel is a channel of truth. We know in the world right now there's so much lies, and we know there's so many propaganda, so many people that pretend to be something. And behind the walls of the church, you find the so-called apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and the teachers, elders and bishops and so forth, and everyone wants a title. Everyone wants to be shining, but they never been in the trenches. They never been out in the world, or they act like they've never been out in the world. But how could you go back into the world if you were not delivered from the world? This is my story of redemption, my story of salvation, my story. You evaluate the story and tell somebody that I was a dead man walking. Maybe this story will help you. Maybe it will help somebody. But make no mistake that your mistakes in life is a set up for a comeback. If you live to tell your stories, you've been here for a purpose. You've been here for destiny. You've been here for greatness. I am the man in the shadows, the man in the wilderness, the man that was hidden for 33 years. No one recognized me. Maybe one or two knew who I was. Maybe I didn't even know who I was, because somebody stole my identity when I came into church. My boldness was gone because I was humble. I was no more threat, but to those that were at the table with me, those that broke bread with me, were now my enemies. I had more love in the streets than in the church. Maybe because I could see fakeness. Maybe that I could see spirits. Maybe that I could see liars. Maybe that I was chosen. You be the judge. Go back with me. Look at the $700 package. The story ties in. Many years ago, some say they are apostles. The Bible said they are not. But the Bible said many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God delivered us through all of them. My affliction, some I have created. Some afflictions was leading me to where I am now. My mistakes can be your mistakes. My valley could have been your valley. My willingness probably was your willingness. But let's climb to the top of the mountain together, because we got somewhere to go. Somebody have to tell the story of overcoming. We overcome through the blood of the Lamb and our testimony. Some people will tell you your testimony is not important. Some will tell you, shut up and sit down. Some will tell you, my story is greater than yours. Or maybe that you look like you've been through nothing. But only God knows what you've been through. I am Sir Maximus. This is my story, my channel of truth. The Bible declares ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I go back to years ago. If you've seen the $700 package, please watch this. Because it was about that time, in that era, the crack era, my money was making all over New York City. That they had to come out with the tactical narcotics unit. They call them TNT. And they were just scooping up everybody who was not going to Central Booking, was going to Rikers Island. You left Rikers Island, you was going upstate. And you had to be strong. Mobb Deep made a song, said survival of the fittest. You could talk all you want to in the church, but when you run up on a devil, you get quiet. These are the last day preachers. They look like they have it, but they don't have it. Now, when you're from the streets, you know warfare. You got a war when you get in the bullpen. Somebody's going to want to take something from you. And you're not going to go out like a punk. So you're going to have to knuckle up, fight back. You may get jumped, but you're not backing down. This is the era where I come from. The era of the viciousness of New York City. But nobody played no games. I wanted more in life. My parents could not give it to me. I wanted the Fila suits. I wanted the Sergio Tacchini. I wanted Adidas and Pumas, the Converse, the Lee jeans, the Levi's, the Kangol hats. You name it. The Gazelles. So I got hooked up with the mob. And somebody gave me some work. And they put me on Hollis Avenue with a package. I believe it was 195 or 196th Street. Can't remember. I know the place was swarmed with dealers. Swarmed with fiends. And everybody's making money. But if you're not from that area, if nobody recognize you and you get caught slipping and you get caught selling, it's not a good day for you. I knew I was a soldier. I knew how to move. I always had discernment. Even in the streets, I didn't know what discernment was, but I could discern things. There was a Chinese restaurant on 195th Street. I stood outside, did my little hustle. But while I was inside, a gang of dudes came in and they all had on their V-bombers. They had the Honda Elite scooters outside, and some of them had on the pilot coats. And one of them said, "Shorty, what you doing up in here?" Figured they already scoped me out and figured I was working. So I played it off. I'm just up in there buying Chinese food. But I got to find a way to get up out of there real quick. You can't say to these dudes, "I'm out here working. Where you from?" That's a beatdown. But I was street smart. So I got up out of there. And I felt like I was being led by something. I don't know what I was being led by. or being watched by something or protected by something. I couldn't explain. Only God knows. But I met a crackhead. And he purchased some stuff for me, and he said, well, come back to the crib. And so I went to the crib with him. And when I went down the steps, I could have been in danger. It could have been my life right there. I don't know. I'm just not thinking about that. But there's a saying that God works mysteriously. Maybe my faith was going to be tried that night. And it was. Because in the game, all kinds of things happened. This was one of the things that I could not forget. So I went down the steps with him, and it seemed like they stayed in the basement. And when I looked around, I just said, wow. It was so much destruction in that basement. How could somebody live like this, I thought. It was just beyond my belief. The condition of living wasn't humane. But this was another human I was selling drugs to. And at that time, a part of you be like, well, that's not my problem, that's his. I'm just here to sell him this dope. But there was something called divine intervention. Because everything that we get involved in is not for us. Some things we do, we shouldn't do. And there's a time in our life when we feel this urge, this is wrong. And that was my first encounter with the divine. As we was down in that basement, me, him, I guess that was his lady. I don't know if that was his lady wife or she could have just been his smoking partner. I don't know. But I do know that as quick as he bought one, it was as quick as he smoked it up. And the money was coming. And as the money left, I could see him looking around in distress. Because he got to keep this habit going. And it seemed like he ran out of cash. And I couldn't do no credit because it was not my stuff. But the Bible said there's no temptation that's not common unto man. But with the temptation, God will give you a way to escape. And if you're tempted above measure, then it's time to bail. So while I'm there, I see him go in the back room. And what I'm about to tell you, it's probably going to hurt and sting a little bit. But reality hurts. Truth hurts. But this is the crack era. This is the work of darkness. This is evil at its best. So he goes in the back and he comes out the room with a little girl. She had to be about 8 or 9 years old. He never said nothing to me, but he looked at me. I looked at him and I read through the card. And I knew immediately what that was. But it hurt me so bad that I had to have a divine encounter. To another person, it would have probably, they would have took that door. But I start to feel something in my heart that I never felt before. It was a warm sensation, a sensation that I knew compassion was in me. Compassion for these people. Why should a drug dealer have compassion for a coke fiend or crackhead? I can't explain. God have compassion for me. A killer, a murderer, a drug dealer. He looked at me no different than the crackhead. I was supplying a demand. But I heard a thought in my mind said, I want you to go to the store and purchase some food. I did not wrestle with it because I knew that was not my thoughts. Whatever it was, I'm gonna have to take it out of my pay grade, because this was somebody else's package. But I'm in a test. I didn't know it's a test, but at that particular time, I can't explain why I'm not thinking if I shorten this package or shorten this money, my life is in danger. There was a bigger hand in this situation. And so I obeyed. Didn't make no sense, but I still obeyed. Can't remember if there was a key food store. I went in there and I bought some rice. I bought a pack of chicken. And I bought some cooking oil. I know they had some pots and pans, but so I came back and I washed out the dishes, the pots that were dirty, the pans that were dirty. And I cooked a meal for them. Seemed crazy, right? Why would there be remorse in that situation? Why would a sudden change of heart? But I know that I was being moved on by supernatural powers. Powers that make you do things you don't want to do. Interrupt your decisions. Even though you have a will, the power of God when it touched you, seem like you don't have a choice. So I surrendered, and I cooked for them. And their face lit up as if they was at a 5-star restaurant. I'll never forget it. Even the little girl, she probably had not ate in 3-4 weeks because all they did was smoke crack. And I'm sure she never did get involved with the smoking, but she was very malnourished. But we have to have pity on the poor. And because I had pity on the poor and the less fortunate, I believe God divinely spared my life with the $700 package I messed up. Because you have to understand that everything works in divine order. That plan to get me in the Mercedes was trying to get me to the cemetery. And I took another door. The door that I took was the door of no. Because temptation says they're going to be girls, they're going to be big timers, they're going to be alcohol. But I chose another door. He tried everything in the world to try to get me to get in that car. I've never been in a Mercedes before. But that Mercedes would have been my death sentence. The Bible said the wisdom of God is the foolishness of men. Why would God take a crack dealer to feed a family of 3? Don't ask me. The instructions was given to me, and I followed it. Today I could look back, and wherever that little girl is in life, that I know that I have changed her life somehow. Because all it takes is one good thing that could touch a human heart. Maybe she grew up to be something wonderful. Maybe she grew up and became an overcomer like I did. Who knows? But I bless God for His deliverance. For I know my life is hidden in Christ Jesus. That story blessed me because we are blessed to be a blessing. May my channel help you to understand that your mistakes can help somebody else. Do not underestimate your life. Do not underestimate the goodness of God in your life. Because you can't buy your way into heaven. Or you can't do a good deed to enter into heaven. But you surely could change the heart of somebody by doing a good deed. Continue to watch, continue to share, and continue to like.